Good day, everyone. It's Antonio Mata here with J and J Home Care Services. As for my previous recording, we spoke about the difference between home care and home health. Just to recap, home health is physical therapy, occupational therapy, wound care, and nursing assistance at home and or in a rehab hospital. And home care is assisting with showers, medication reminders, transfer from the bed to the chair, things that we call activities of daily living. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Deborah Gonzalez. Deborah is a benefits specialist, and her expertise is in Medicare and other types of insurances and annuities. I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself and talk a little bit about what she does. One of the topics that we'd like to cover today is the increasing cost of elderly care, whether it's at home or in a community. And Deborah is going to address some of the remedies that we have that she has available and can expose anyone who's interested. Deborah, it's all yours.
Hi, I'm Deborah Gonzalez. I work with Cornerstone Senior Services, and I help individuals with, like he said, with Medicare, a variety of different supplemental insurances, long-term care, home care, recovery care for facilities. There's many options that are available depending on everyone's situation. We're all different, we're on different medications, we have different health issues, and I can pinpoint the best or show you different options to, to choose from.
So I met Deborah a few years ago during COVID, and I started talking to her about long-term care insurance because I did not qualify due to some health issues from the past, and she introduced me to a few policies. I call them short-term care. There's a name for it, which kind of alleviated. I'm 62, but you never. And I'm in this home care industry business, so I know what the cost is, and it brings me peace of mind should anything, God forbid, happen that I need help at home from a caregiver. So she introduced me to two different policies, and I currently am on those two policies, and they're called short-term care because I think the maximum time is 2 years. Is that correct, Deborah?
Actually, it's 52 weeks for home care, but there's one policy that can restore if there's a 6 month waiting period, so you could get up to 104 weeks depending on what happens. So there's quite a few variables that it's better to go into those individually, depending. But yeah, there's many options. Bottom line.
One of the things that I always stress to the children of my clients slash patients, who are typically in their 40s, 50s, and maybe even 60s, is they see the expense of caring for their parents, especially if they're going to have stay at home, especially if their mom or dad or both need 24-hour care. They see these expenses, and I tell them, look into long-term care insurance, look into short-term care insurance now at your age.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot less expensive now at their age, and more than likely they're a lot healthier than they will be in a few years after that. And I can't tell you that most of the time it goes by the wayside, and when the time comes, it's maybe too late. I don't know if you have any case studies, Deborah, that you want to share about how. Well, one of the clients that you referred over to me, I'm not going to mention her name. She bought a short-term care policy, I think, for her husband,
Correct.
and talk through
Well,
that.
yeah, that was a situation where her husband had already been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and she called me and she was concerned, obviously, because more than likely he's going to need help, right? And so I showed her this option, and even though he's been diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's, he was able to get a 52-week policy, and it helps tremendously. Um, it's very budget friendly, so there's a lot of different options depending on your budget. So more than likely you can afford something. There is a 6 month waiting period, but usually when individuals, when we are diagnosed with dementia, usually it takes a while before we need help at home, hopefully years, right? But at least there's something you can get that will help pay for that cost, because Medicare does not cover home care long term. So it's critical just to do a benefit review, guys. I'm not trying to sell anybody or change anybody's policy. My role is to make sure that people are aware of their options, because if they don't have a benefit review to at least see what's out there and to get an idea of the cost, then they don't know. My brother, just real quick, had a stroke at 67 years old. He was thin, active, I mean, on the go, working hard. All of a sudden, he had a massive stroke. He and now is in a wheelchair. He's been in a wheelchair for the last 7 years, and he's paying out of pocket $2,000 a month to stay at home, to have help, to have people come in and help him with his daily activities, right? I don't know about anybody else, but $2,000 a month is pretty hefty, and that can help us. That will make us run through our savings and our retirement money quite fast.
And more than likely, he doesn't have that many hours a day of help at $2,000 a month.
Well, it's typically about $30 an hour in today's world, but
Right.
who the heck knows what it's going to be 5 years from now, 2 years from now,
Correct.
much less 10 years from now. So if
Correct.
you're in your 50s, you know, it's a good time to look at it. Even if you're in your 60s or 70s, it's a good time to look at it, but it will be more expensive, but it's not outrageous. Long-term care, your traditional long-term care is harder to get approved. You got to be squeaky clean, right, health-wise, and it's super expensive the older we are. I'm 67, so I'll be 67 in February. But there's many options when you're younger. So, you know, the best thing to do is just have a benefit review, no obligation. Again, just hear what your options are depending on your particular situation with your health issues.
Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So again, if you have any questions about what Deborah has been speaking about, if you have questions about Medicare, I think OEP is open.
Annual enrollment period.
Annual enrollment is
AEP.
approaching.
Yes.
Reach out to her. And Deborah, if you wouldn't mind sharing your phone number.
Sure. It's 469 774 7456. Again, it's 469 774 7456.
Okay, and thank you to all of you listening. If you have any questions about home care and J&J Home Care, especially if you're a veteran, our number is 972-505-9347. Again, that's 972-505-9347. And go make it a fantastic day.